All right. So, welcome to Ayurvedic astrology. So, basically, uh, today I want to talk about where you can mix the both Ayurveda and astrology, where you can connect the both and you can uh, make the best you can predict, you can prevent, and you can improve upon yourself. Now, um, if possible, you can all come on camera. That will be good. Then I can see you all. And I want it to be very interactive. So if you have questions, you can definitely keep asking in between. All right. So now, for any one of you like to volunteer to read your horoscope, or I can take some random. Yeah. Okay, Sunny. Okay. All right, so I'll need your date, time, and place of birth.
October 7th, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, October 7th, 1978,
1978. Okay, and time?
uh, about 8:30 a.m.
8:30 a.m. And it's Canada, I believe.
Yes, in a
Uh,
place
uh-huh.
called Surrey, BC. Surrey, Surrey.
Sorry, okay. Sorry, British Columbia. Okay, and I'm just opening up your horoscope here. All right, so let me share this now.
Because
Uh,
I have a Mac, so I'm not able to use that program. Is that right?
So if you are on a Windows computer, there is a free software called Jagannath Hora. On the Mac, it doesn't. In the Mac, I'm using a paid software. I really don't know a free software for the Mac, but for you can
Well,
definitely use like
Yeah, more plastic, yes. Yes. Yeah, make it better. I tell you, yeah.
so for the Mac, there is very few softwares that actually fit the Mac. So I'm using a professional software called Parashara's Lite, as you can see. Okay, it's cost 300, but it's one of the best. But because I do professional astrology readings, so that's why I use this.
mhm.
So let's look at this. So I'm not going to go into. We'll just focus on the health aspect. Okay, so that's our focus here because we have other people. So we are reading your horoscope in terms of health. Okay. Now, in terms of health, when we look at a horoscope, okay, the sixth house in a horoscope. So whenever you read a Vedic horoscope, the A as ascendant is the first house, is considered the first house, and everything is read from that point. So first house is your self, the body. Second house is your wealth. Third house is siblings, food and drink. Fourth house is your home, your mom. Fifth house is your previous good karma. Sixth house is your health. Okay, sixth house is health. Seventh house is spouse. Eighth house is lifespan, research, and ninth house is spirituality. 10th house is your occupation, job. 10th, 11th house is profits, and 12th house is your moksha, spirituality. Okay. Now, when you look at this chart, the first house is also very important because that is your personality. The position of the moon is important because that describes your mental strength. And then the sixth house describes your health situation. Okay. Now, if you look at your first house, you have Mars and Venus. Okay, so Venus does make you uh, good looking, so to speak. Okay, so Venus is the planet of we all know Venus is what it is. So you have Venus in the first house, which is a good thing, which makes you attractive personality, good looking, and that's good. Okay, but you have Mars. Okay, so whenever Mars is related to blood. So each planet is related to one dhatu in the body. So, for example, Saturn is responsible for gas, okay, air. So, Mars is responsible for uh, blood. Okay, Mars is responsible for blood in your horoscope. So, bone marrow, blood. So when you have Mars in the first house, okay, so if you look at this, so first thing you have to look at Mars in the enemy house. Okay, so Mars is sitting in the enemy house. So this could be a where there is a problem with the blood. Okay, and your Mars is fairly good. So that means when a planet is stronger, okay, if the score is above 1.2, 1 above 1, then that means if you apply the right solution, the problem can be overcome. Okay, so anything in the first house, if it is not situated properly, it creates a problem. So Mars also is blood digestion. So digestion related issues, right? We discussed. So you have digestion related issues, correct? So pretty much Mars sitting in the house of an enemy. So therefore, your digestion, your heat, blood, that creates a problem. So what is the remedy? So in Ayurveda, your remedies are two types, right? One is, of course, your diet and herbs. Definitely diet and herbs. But what is even more important is making the spiritual remedy. Okay. So the planet Mars, so in Ayurvedic astrology, Mars, who is the Lord of Mars, is Narasimha, Lord Narasimha. Hmm? So that means you have to chant the prayers of Lord Narasimha for protection, for health, okay, for improvement in blood, for improvement in digestion. So that is the planet that is afflicted here because it's in the enemy house. So in your body, it's acting like an enemy. See, the planets, according to the Bharat Parashara Horus Smriti, the planets give you your karma. That's it. That's why they are situated where they are. They are situated where they are to give you back your good and bad karma. That's it. Now you have to pray and make the right decisions. Okay. Now, the another important thing that I see is your moon position. Okay. So every in the horoscope, every planet has a Ucha and Nicha sthan. So Ucha means uh, exalted and Nicha means debilitated, where it's weak. So in your case, the moon isn't debilitated, it is weak. It is weak means easily you can be emotional, easily you can be swayed. Hmm? Very difficult. Some people can absorb any shock, it doesn't affect them. There are very few people like that. But in your case, oversensitive. Can be very, very sensitive. But the best part is that if you look at your moon, it is alone. So there are two planets right next to it, Venus and Mars. So they are influencing the moon. So although you want to be with people, you are a little bit away also. It's not that you want to uh, you want to mix with people, but still you are a little bit separate. So a little bit of loner. But the thing is, your moon is in Jyeshta Nakshatra. You know who has Jyeshta Nakshatra?
Mm.
Donald Trump. Right? So Donald Trump. So the thing is, it's a very dynamic. Dynamic means that uh, there are two sides to this. Now, this is very important in terms of mental health. You could do, and same with Donald Trump, you could do the most harm to your body and mind by your bad habits. Okay. At the same time, that can eventually lead you to a higher spiritual perspective in trying to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So, so you can, and like we discussed, you had some difficulties in your teenage,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, there were so many difficulties. And everybody has, whenever anybody is in college or teen, everybody has some bad habits. But
Mm-hmm.
what matters is the extent of those bad habits. So some people go really, like really, into the abyss. But then once you reach the abyss, you reach the absolute base, then you can come back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a spiritual ascension.
Mm-hmm.
So a spiritual ascension. So the moon, if you look at the strength here, it's 1.23, and moon is sitting in its moon is sitting debilitated, weak. Okay. So this is your literally a lifetime project.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you see Donald Trump, he is he's financially he's good, but why did he have to do all this presidential run? So because he feels a responsibility, he feels a need. Many people have different opinions, but he has an inner calling. Okay, some people like it, some people do, but it's an extreme thing. So it's an extreme. So similarly, we see even Narendra Modi in India, he has a similar moon position. Okay, similar position of the moon. So very difficult, and like you go into the depths of everything, and the next half of your life, you are at the top of everything. You are doing something amazing. So it's a spiritual ascension. So similarly, everybody has a certain moon position. We can take more examples. Okay, with that. Now, looking at your sixth house, house of health. Okay, how do you look at that? Now, sixth house is your house of health. Now, what are the planets present within the house? And what are the planets which are influencing the house? All of that matters. Okay. Now, the planet which is present within your sixth house is actually Ketu. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ketu is uh, is a spiritual planet. Okay, is a spiritual planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this spiritual planet is good in the long run. That means when you take up spiritual life properly, with a depth of understanding, your health will improve. I guess that is the case, right? Once you came to Krishna consciousness, your activities changed. Most of us do. Once you come to spiritual life, your activities change. So the thing is, the more you are spiritually involved, your health improves. Okay, it's a slow process, but that eventually leads you to your spirituality also. So very interesting. Your health and spirituality are very deeply interconnected. Hmm?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's if it was Rahu, so sometimes people have the opposite. So either you have Ketu, so Ketu, either you have the opposite Rahu. If you have Rahu, then it's like a perpetual health issues. Very difficult to overcome those. It's not easy. You have to literally, in your case, the more you spiritually fight, now you see two planets influencing here. So Rahu, Sun, Mercury, three planets, right? Right, exactly opposite this in the axis, if you look at it.
Mhm.
Now, Rahu always is opposite to Ketu, but you have Sun and Mercury. Mercury in exaltation. You know what Mercury stands for? So the Lord of Mercury in astrology is Lord Buddha. Is Lord Buddha. Hmm?
Okay.
So Lord Buddha. So Mercury is Lord Buddha, and Mercury is also communication and intelligence. Okay. Now the sun is also sitting right there. So they are all influencing your health. So Mercury is doing it in a positive way because he is exalted. Now, what does Lord Buddha represent? It took me a long time to figure out. But for my new book, I've also added the mudras, the Buddha mudras. Okay. So the Buddha mudras that we see, Buddha, pranayama, meditation, silence, calmness, withdrawal, seclusion, these things, tapasya, dietary control, these things will help you. These things will help because that is Mercury is directly influencing your health. So, if you take up more problems or more activities related to Mercury, this will directly improve your communication, intelligence, and directly influence your health, mental health.
Okay. And mental health. What were the examples again of helpful activities?
So, for example, like in my new book, I have put the mudras of Lord Buddha.
Mhm.
Okay. So they, when you do it with a purpose, when you do it with calmness, so it has such a depth, such an amazing depth. So if you actually do it, the mudras properly, they can unclog all the nerves. They can unclog all your nerves because right now there is a lot of blockage and it's all previous impressions. Okay, so Ketu, see Ketu, Mercury, it's a very spiritual triangle there. So your health is very much, it's a spiritual problem that you have. So the more you are convinced, the more you are practicing silence, the more you are practicing Buddha mudras, the more you are practicing yoga, for example, it's your life's, this thing. And the more you are excelling in the depth of the practice, you will directly benefit. You will benefit in a like amazing way. Okay. All right. Now the moon. So you are undergoing the moon dasha right now. So you're ending the moon dasha. So you're ending a kind of evolution. So this was a kind of like we discussed, you went through a difficult period. So the moon in your chart, because it is weak, it is debilitated. So the dasha of the moon, the period of the moon was also tough. But the end of it, at the end of it, you are finding the solutions. Because it's moon and Venus time right now. So you are finding the solutions. So the period. Okay. And and the mental health, so your moon Mercury, if you focus on more meditation, more yoga, and of course our ghee, our diet, healthy diet with the healthy ghee that you got, and continue. Now the main thing is, it's a continuation is very important. You know why? Because you are starting the Mars period
Mhm.
in a couple of in a year or so. So because the Mars period is starting in your so if you don't consistently practice, you could slip back into a dietary problem. You could have a digestive problem. Okay. So the Mars period, because the Mars in an enemy house, you have to perfect your diet in the next 1 or 2 years. You have to get into a consistent practice of diet where you don't lose your way.
Mhm.
Hmm? But it's not that, okay, today it's a festival, we can have cake and pizza. No, you have to be you have to be very systematic, and that's where people lack in consistency in their routine, consistency in their diet. So that's the thing. After 35, 35, if you have not achieved a consistency in your routine, your health will not be very stable. Hmm? So you have to achieve that consistency. That is good for everyone, but especially in your case, it will be very, very beneficial. Okay. Now, if anyone else also has questions, please feel free to ask. In that way, I can explore it in different angles. Okay. All right. So anybody else has a question on this? Anything you're trying to understand? All right. So the other thing in Ayurveda, we are trying to, in Ayurvedic astrology, is also your genomics, your physical structure, your overall health structure, it depends also on your parents' seed. Like all of us have a physical structure, and all this is from the seed of our parents, right? So, whatever your parents have given you, you are predisposed to those health issues. Okay, you are predisposed, but not fatal. It can be changed. Okay, you are predisposed, but it's not fatal. That doesn't mean your parents were diabetic, doesn't mean you have to be diabetic. Okay, you can change in Ayurveda. Okay, so that is called also a karmic change. Okay, that's a change. So for that change, you need to change your lifestyle. You need to understand which karma is causing it, and that's where Ayurveda and horoscope merge. So Ayurveda and horoscope merge at that point where you look at your horoscope, you understand what karma you have. You should also look at parents' horoscope and see what karma they had. And then you try to work on the karma. Like one of my teachers, astrology, not astrology, my physics teachers, in his family lineage, um, many people, like everyone after the age of 60, they got blind because of some ancestral curse. Okay. Suddenly they would start going blind. And everybody, like his great 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 grandfather, we looked at. So he had that karma, the parents had that karma, so you are born in that lineage. So it is not just your parents, but you also had a similar karma. Of course, parents also can improve upon your karma. That's one thing we have to be thankful to our parents for, is that whatever you come with, the parents bear also. Like there is an exchange of karma, and they can also do the best for you. Your parents can also do the best for you. Okay. And in turn, your duty is to understand your horoscope very deeply, and then you have to see, for example, in your case, Sunny, your moon, right? So the influence of the moon is on Mercury, right? So the Mercury, if you improve your communication, so you lack, you are really having an internal struggle with communication, focus. Huh? So the Buddha Mudra, so your Mercury is very strong, so you can benefit from that. So by healing Mercury, by focusing on Mercury, so Lord Buddha's pranayama, mudras, meditations, that will improve your overall communication, health. Now for the moon, of course, remember one thing, the Lord of Moon in astrology is Krishna. Okay, you have a weak moon, you have to surrender unto Balaram. Okay, in Vedic astrology, you have to surrender to Balaram because moon is mental strength. So for bhakti, for spirituality, for yoga, you need mental strength. To practice yoga every day. I have one very wonderful devotee. Um, every Sunday morning, like before this, we have a class, and this devotee I really appreciate. He even with diabetes and at an advanced age, he's practicing yoga so well, and he's seeing the benefit. And it's just your willingness. Okay, so that's the thing. So that is why we say atato brahma jijnasa, right? In the yoga, in the Vedanta Sutra, it says now Brahma Jijnasa, you have that eagerness, right? Now, because you have to first develop that previous qualification. Hmm? So, all of you are here because you want to hear, understand, apply, and improve your health. Okay. So, I will delve deeper into how to improve your health overall. And I wanted to let you know that these in the horoscope, when you see, if you, along with whatever you are doing, if you also correct the astrology part, like there is also, see, your inner channels, very interestingly, your inner channels. So you are physically, you have channels, right? You have nerves that we can see. You have all nerves, nerves which carry blood, food, everything. Similarly, there are mental channels. Okay, did you know that you lose 10%, that you lose 10%, not 10%, 30% of your immunity moment you get emotionally distressed, right? And I was reading a paper yesterday where mental health issues, mental health issues are causing life expectancy to be lower by 10 years. People are dying 10 years early because of mental health issues. Now, mental health issues lead to what? Overeating, stressful eating, stressful sleeping, lack of sleep, too much social media, hmm? Too much stress, all these things. So it can definitely lead to many of such issues. Okay, so mental health is very crucial along with physical health. You cannot have one without the other. In yoga, body is an extension of the mind. Okay, body is an extension of the mind. So anything that happens to your body affects the mind. Anything that affects your mind affects the body. Your heart muscles, for example, are the repository for all thoughts. Heart muscles. So that is why you get pain in the heart. People get heart attack when they listen to a very bad news, shocking news, which they cannot take it anymore because your heart kind of contracts at that difficult news. Poof. Now imagine every day if you are undergoing that, right? And people who have invested in stock market, shock market, I was about to say, no, shock market, no, stock market. Every day they're like, they open up, oh, oh, this, every day it's like, right? So that is why gambling is very not very feasible for healthy life. So Chanakya Pandit says one who doesn't have debts, one who doesn't have to travel far, one who doesn't have to take so much stress, that then they become very healthy. Okay. All right. So now let's do a couple of more things with your horoscope. Okay. Now there is the Navamsha. So your main horoscope, your physical health. Now your mental health is more explained in the Navamsha. Okay, so in the Navamsha, so Navamsha is your inner self. So horoscope has two things. Okay, so one is the okay, one second. So we find two. Your Navamsha is your inner self. So now here, let's see the very good thing that you have. What is the very good thing that you have? Ascendant with Jupiter. Okay, so ascendant with Jupiter. So in your inner self, by nature, so it is like I wear a goggles, right? The color of that determines what I see. Now, because you have Jupiter in the first house in the Navamsha, deep down within you, you have embedded spirituality. So this is from your own past life. So past life, you did some sukruti, right? You ate some prasadam by mistake or something like that. Or some or something happened and you got some good, karma. So that sukruti is there. So your lens. Now, if you look at the sixth house, that's what I wanted to see. So sixth house from the Lagna, that's your health, right? So your inner health. You have Moon and Mars together. Okay. So you have Moon and Mars together. Now that is an inner craving. You are always looking for more deeper answers. Okay. There is an inner search, inner fire. Mars is also fire. Now that fire is directly affecting your mind. So you are into a continuous development. Okay. So you don't want anything to stop your continuous development. Hmm? So it's very much your health and spirituality. It's a very unique horoscope where your health and spirituality are so much tied together. And see, many people have different attachments. So for many people, money makes them uh, keep going, right? Your health, everything. And for many people, many things, different things keeps going. In your case, it is the quest, the dynamic quest for the spirituality that keeps you going. Hmm? And that keeps your health, physical and mental. Okay. So very wonderful horoscope. And if you look at this example, for all, it should inspire all of us too, in different ways, that spirituality does help us. Spirituality helps us in health at all levels, but when it is executed properly. Because one is not without the other. Your eating also directly influences your mind. Okay. And your mind directly influences your spiritual practices. So your spiritual practices influences. So they are all interconnected. Okay. So that is why a balance is needed. Balance is needed. Now, for example, in Uddhava Gita, if you understand from the Bhagavatam, and even if you understand from Hatha Yoga Pradipika, anyone who reaches the stage of pranayama, pure breathing in pranayama, you can reverse any chronic health issue. You can reverse it very easily. You can reverse it. So many people practice pranayama. Why does it take time? Because the actual pranayama, where you are doing the bandha, where you are doing the abdominal lock, where you are doing the um, root lock, abdominal lock, all these locks, you are able to hold the abdomen properly and breathe according to the proper description of pranayama, then you get the result. So you have to get to a point. So life is in Ayurveda more than the execution, it's a lot of preparation because so many things have to fall right. And most health issues that you have, it's pretty clear it is all because of habits from this life or the mindset that you cultivated from your previous life. So therefore, the ultimate healing is in the mind itself. The ultimate healing is the mind itself. Because mind gets you to cultivate good habits or bad habits. So even if you correct it for some time, like some people get some health issue, okay, they can't eat much, so they quit a lot of things temporarily. But suddenly, once they feel better, they come back. They eat the same things, make the same mistakes. Why? Because the root is not corrected. So Ayurveda says, correct your root. So the mind is the center. Okay. All right. Now, is there any other person who would like to volunteer and we can check on the horoscope? Let me see, Rohini. Okay, I think I have yours. Let me open it. Okay. Okay, let me open it. Or if not, yeah, I got yours. Okay. All right. So we will look at Rohini Mataji's horoscope. Okay. Okay. So here's your horoscope. All right, so this is April 7th, 1980, 5:30 San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago, correct? So what we discussed, okay. Now let's look at your health in this case, okay? So first of all, you have to look at the planetary positions from the ascendant, okay, the first house. So you have Surya in the first house, Sun in the first house itself of personality. Now, like we discussed, Sun in the first house is a challenging planet for good health. Okay. So therefore, overall, there will be some kind of weakness, health issues, right? Throughout life. So throughout life. So Sun, so this health also affects, relationships, all that, right? All that we discussed, but basically your health. So those who have Sun in the first house, Sun and Moon, they need a lot of physical yoga. They need a lot of physical purification. You really need a lot of. So that's where you identify, because the Sun gives you the problem, but the Sun itself is the solution. Okay, the Sun itself is the solution. So what is the Sun? Sun is the Lord is Lord Rama. Okay, so worship of Lord Rama. But at the same time, Sun is also Gayatri. Sun is also Surya Namaskar. Sun salutations. Okay. So physically, if you have problem with the Sun, then the solution is Surya Namaskar, Sun salutation. Okay. And at the same time, mantra related to the Sun or related to Rama. Okay. Those vibrations. So in Ayurveda, it is said all your karma sits as vibrations and they translate into physical action. So the karma sits in your nerves as vibrations and is transferred. So that is why when you chant mantra, you can eliminate the vibration altogether. So that is why astrology is shown when the kid, when somebody is a kid, you'll go to an astrologer. Okay, most people go when there is a problem. But if you do it when you are a kid, like in Bhagavatam, the Parikshit Maharaj horoscope is described right away. So they say that he will be killed by a snake called Takshaka. It's already there. So they know. They've already seen it. The episode is already there. Reality TV, right? So it's already there. So you know. So in your case, if we look at the sixth house of health, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 4 planets. Very interesting. Now, I saw, by the way, so I saw similar horoscopes of young kids like a couple of years ago, and I suggested certain solutions. And many of them, like the kids, they are overcoming their health issue very, very rapidly. So the point is, the younger you are able to apply the astrological solutions, you get the result faster. Okay. Now, in this case, you have 4 planets. Okay, let's look at the 4 planets. Okay, Mars, right? Okay, Mars is neutral. Okay, Rahu, Rahu is neutral. Good. Jupiter is neutral. Saturn is great enemy. Okay, 3 planets. So whenever there are planets together in a house, so there is a planetary war. So each one is trying to dominate. Now, Saturn is something you don't want to get upset in your horoscope. Okay? But Saturn is sitting in the 6th house, he's sitting in the enemy house, he's retrograde. So that causes gas-related problems, digestion-related problems. Correct? Right? Yeah. So we discussed, so with the Rohini Mataji, the main thing is that the 6th house, the Saturn, is causing a serious issue here. And he's sitting in the house of enemy. He is dominating all the planets. So now, once your gas is a problem, once whatever you eat, you have so much gas, so the digestion becomes weak. So over a long period of time, all your other elements also become weak. Okay, gradually your immunity goes down because you are gassy all the time. There's no digestion, proper digestion, or it's a very slow digestion. Okay, now Rahu is a wild card. He gives severe stomach issues. Now you combine Rahu and Saturn in the house of in your health house, and he is actually giving you severe digestive issues. Right? Yes, so we have 2 or 3 names here, so we will discuss those as well. It's very interesting. So you can see that it's a deadly combo. So you need really a nuclear blast. You really need, because Rahu is not easy to overcome. Okay, stomach issues. Until you really cleanse your stomach, purify and strengthen it. Purify. So in Ayurveda, you purify with herbs. So that is why herbs are also a form of siddhi. That's why I decided to learn at this half of my life. I'm studying Ayurveda and astrology and herbs and all together. Okay. And then I'm also learning. So the thing is that herbs are a very big solution. And each planet has a dhanyam, as a food, as a diet, and a herb which will help. Okay. Now, for example, in Ayurvedic formulation for gas, definitely everyone should take Hingvashtaka. So Hingvashtaka Churna. Okay, it's like the so generally, whatever you eat, the end part, you add a little bit of Hingvashtaka Churna. It cleanses out. And that's so at the same time for Saturn, one should also worship Lord Hanuman, because Hanuman is also Vayu. He is the Lord of air. He is the Lord of air. And by worshipping Hanuman and by chanting and by doing yoga, it will help. Okay. It will help a lot. So why? Because there is Jupiter and Mars. So Jupiter facilitates the practice of yoga eventually, if you decide to take it up. Right? And you take it up, you practice seriously, it will give you definite results. But it takes time, because Saturn is a long-term fighter. He doesn't give up. Saturn is one person who is like the most patient planet, ready to punish you. Right? It takes a long time. But when he punishes you, he punishes you for a long time. So it is tough. Most chronic, that's why many people say chronic. Chronic means almost impossible to overcome until and unless you decide to really dedicate your life and fight it out. Like, for example, in Ayurveda, it says that if you develop a chronic disease, then it is the time to live the life of a rishi, to live the life of a yogi. So, Tasmat Yogi Bhavarjuna. Krishna tells Arjuna already, if you have these thoughts, then live the life of a yogi, because anything here and there can lead to attachment and suffering. Okay. So if you do this, so for you, basic solutions, sun salutations, directly it's here. Jupiter is here. So Jupiter is also um, like a diet which is very light, which is for intelligence, means you have to eat very light. So anytime you eat heavy, it's difficult for you. So Jupiter light. And for Saturn, you do the Hingvashtaka Churna, gas related. And for Mars, heat. So you have to be very careful with very heating spices. You have to have mild spices, like a dry ginger, all these things. And we can see that by prayer also to, Mars, the Lord, the blood, the Lord is Narsimha. By prayers to Narsimha, so there is purification of blood. Because as soon as there is purification of mind, because always when the mind is in distress, blood is also impure. So once the mind is out of distress, your blood purification begins immediately. So that is why prayers to Narsimha, you protect yourself from distressing thoughts. So these are also there. Now let's quickly look at your Navamsha. I have a few more requests right here in the window. So let's see here, Navamsha. So Navamsha, see here you have a Ketu Rahu. So now here your personality comes in. So anybody who has a Ketu Rahu combination in the personality, so that creates a deep sense of dissatisfaction with yourself. Now that is very detrimental to health issues, because whatever you are doing, you have a level of dissatisfaction because of that. Now that is good spiritually, but materially it's difficult, because spiritually, if you are unsatisfied, you are always eager to learn new things, because many times we become comfortable. We are okay with spiritual life. We are eating, we are going to festival, we are fine, whatever. But when you are deeply dissatisfied, you are always looking for the higher. So there is a lot of need to work on the personality. So directly, if you see the connection, so yoga, physical balance, dietary balance, so your personality balance. So you need a overall, like there is a, like a personality workshop, so to speak, to and it will, and you will change, but it takes time. So these things take time. In your case, it's going to take a lot of time, because if you connect all the main horoscope and the Navamsha, and your sixth house is Mars, so heat related, blood related. So you have to be very, very careful with your diet, with your dietary, choices to keep a balance. Okay. So in this way, you can see that um, so in this way you can keep your balance. So it's a overall work. So it literally, it's like this life for you is designed to be focused on yoga and spirituality. It's kind of designed that way, because you go a little bit here, little bit there, it can cause an imbalance. Some people are born with good health, no matter what they do, it's very difficult. You see people with very strong physical bodies and everything, and yet weak mind. It's a different combination. So it's not easy, so to speak. Okay. All right. Wonderful. But it is a spiritually directed horoscope. Okay. And your spiritual practices, diet, yoga, it's ultimately going to benefit you overall in your spiritual pursuit. Okay. Hmm? For sure. All right. Wonderful. So let's look at the next question I have is from. Okay, there's a quick question here. How does the relationship between planets affect a person, like sun, trine, moon, for example? So relationship between planets occurs. This is an astrological question. So the planet, depending on where he is, so it's a general question, so I'll give you a general point of view. So it will affect, for example, if your moon is situated in debilitation, so such people have a weak, wavering mind. So they have a lot to work with their mind. And that can lead to severe health issues as well, because your diseases, chronic diseases, originate in the mind. I was surprised to read that one of the papers which was published, it says one of the root causes of diabetes, according to Ayurveda, is anger, is continuous anger. If you see somebody angry all the time, that means very soon he will get diabetes. If somebody is upset, depressed all the time, that means he will get. Yesterday, one lady called me and she said, I'm always depressed. So then I looked at her health issue. She cannot even move physically now. I was surprised to find. And then I was trying to suggest some changes and she was trying to resist it too. Because the thing is, that's when I realized that your mind becomes your best friend or your worst enemy. Right? Even if you get the solution, you are like, no. So I can't apply it, right? It won't work. So faith. All right. So next, let's go to, so I have that which I received in line. So I have Vanamali Das, Varun Shuklaji, Prema Gaurangi, Mani Mohan, and Victoria Mataji. So, and Hemanti Rajkumar. Okay, I will take all those quickly and then I will, we will go through quickly. I don't know how detailed I can go. But we'll try to see, and then it's already 1 hour, so I'll try to do this like really quick. Okay. All right. So let me do right now Dr. Varun Shukla, and then we'll go to Prema Gaurangi Mataji. So Varun Shukla is 22nd November 1991, Ahmedabad. So you need the mail, and you will need okay, Ahmedabad. You need date, time, and place. Okay, you need three things to check the astrology of a person. So I'm quickly generating his horoscope. So the timing is 5:28 a.m. 5:28 a.m. And let's see. And Ahmedabad. Okay. Okay. Here is the horoscope. Okay. All right. So here we look at the horoscope. Okay, of Varun Shukla. All right. So if you look at the first house, personality. So the Lord is. Are you on camera or no? Okay. Not yet. Okay. Okay. But you're there. Okay. So the Lagna Lord here, you see a very wonderful position. So the Lagna Lord is Venus. He is in the 12th house. So that means, so 12th house is spirituality. It is also a loss. 12th house and loss, spirituality are all together. So spirituality means loss of material material loss. So Lagna Lord, so first house personality is in the 12th house. So Venus is a very good planet for good health and spirituality. So a person who is very much rooted, whose thoughts are very much rooted in spiritual life. So overall, for overall health, it is very good. Okay. For overall health, it is very good. Uh, like Venus is makes you very gentle. Hmm? So, Varunji, you are very gentle. You should tell me. You can unmute.
No, bro.
No. I hope you're not very rude. So, but Venus is very. That's his humility. That he said he's not very gentle, but his Venus is very sweet, very gentle planet. Okay. Now, if you look at the sixth house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, sixth lord is Jupiter. He's sitting in the 11th house. Very interesting. Okay. Now, you have to also look at sixth house from the moon. The lord is Venus in the 12th house. So, the thing is that Jupiter, it's a sign of very good mental health. Now, Jupiter is sitting in a great friend. Okay. Now, Venus is in debilitation. Now, that is one thing. Although Venus is gentle, very good, but Venus is debilitated. Uh, so that makes one serious difficulty in life. So it gives you one major challenge. And Jupiter makes the spiritual connection possible. Okay. So there is really, so one major challenge is definitely there health wise. Okay. Uh, at the same time, the Jupiter is giving you that solution, is giving you that direction. So I've seen you from so many years, but I see that your spiritual interest is only deepening. Okay. Now that is because of the Jupiter position is so strong. Okay. But you have to, but here you can see that in the ascendant here there is the moon. Okay, in the Navamsha. Now that makes it sun and the moon. So sun and the moon are enemies. So second house is Ketu, which is good spiritually. So it's not easy. It's not easy. So Venus debilitation makes one serious challenge in, we can go into very much detail, but I have a lot of people messaging here, but to show. So can you quickly Your spiritual journey, can you say, like in a minute or two?
In 2010, I have initiated only.
2000. Okay. But like you had a physical challenge, right? Or
Yes, sir. Well,
yeah, correct? Yeah.
disability.
Yeah. So you have a disability. So that we can see from the first house in the 12th house. The Lord of the first in the 12th house. So Venus is debilitated in the 12th house. Now that uh, is the serious physical challenge. Okay. Now, but that physical challenge, the disability, now because of the sixth house Lord is Jupiter, your health, your mental health now depends on how you take up spirituality. That's it. Okay. So you have to really chant, and you should also learn to give. Okay. One of the reasons
Yes.
of this karma, I'm just reading what is there. I'm not not in any other way, but I just want to share is that Venus debilitated comes when in last life you haven't given somebody what you should have given or kept it for yourself, something like that. So you have to be very giving. So that's
Yes.
also a part of that. Okay, and that's why this difficulty came about, challenge. Okay, so you give to brahmanas, give to learned people, give to spiritual, give to devotees, and you see that this will change. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So I've known Varunji for a long time, and I know, but I hadn't read in depth. But this is the first time I'm seeing the whole connection of what very much I know about him. But we know the solution also now. He's a very sincere devotee. So let's go to. We did Vanamali. Prema Gauringi Mataji, you have to message me your place of birth. Till then, I will take up Mani Mohanji.
Hey Krishna Prabhu, I sent you the place.
Okay. Then where is send? Where is your
Mauritius.
Mauritius? Oh, okay, okay. Mauritius is a city?
It's an island.
Island. Okay. All right. So let's go to. This is where it takes a little bit of time, but I'll try to speed it up. Okay. 28 February 1978. Next is Mani Mohan. Then we have Janabai Victoria.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Raju Uthaya.
Hare Krishna. One moment. 5 p.m. Mauritius. All right. So Mauritius. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, let me share the screen. All right, so here we are. So, okay. Now we know your health challenges. So pretty much we can predict here, you can see the moon is in the first house. So moon is in the first house is not moon and sun in the first house is not a sign of good health. Okay. So moon makes somebody very, very stressed. If anybody opens up their horoscope in any software and you find moon in your first house, that makes you a person who is always worried. Okay. Or can be overthinking. One of the two things. So, Prema Gaurangi Mataji, what are you? Overthinking or worried?
I guess both, Prabhu.
Both, okay. So both are not good. Okay. So both are not good. if you have moon in the first house, now, moment you have that, what happens when your mind is always racing? You don't eat on time, you don't sleep on time, you don't eat the right thing, you're always in a hurry. Okay? Or you are too confused, too messed up. Okay? Now, this is a problem. So then you have to immediately work on mental health. Okay? It's very, very important to work on mental health. So mental health means you need a lot of physical exercise, meditation, yoga, right? It's a lot. So you really need to focus on. I've seen people with moon in the first house, they have literally lost their direction in life because of hasty decisions. You can end up making hasty decisions, stressful decisions. Okay. So this is very important. So you have second house Saturn. So Saturn is directly looking at the moon. So so your moon is very affected. Now, if you look at the sixth house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the Lord is Jupiter, and he's sitting in the 12th law house. So that means Jupiter along with Mars. So overall health is not good. Okay. And you need a very strict control diet, and you need plenty of physical because Jupiter is also related to two things: mantra chanting and meditation. Mantra chanting, meditation. So you need a lot of yoga, pranayam, that definitely everybody, but in your case, it's even severe. So you need to spend more time. And we know you recently had your remission of cancer. So the cleansing, so Ayurvedic cleansing that we did, and you need more like a lot of pranayam. So we need to do a session on pranayam maybe. As I can see, the Jupiter and pranayam and meditation will help you a lot in cleansing. So you have a lot of toxins because of that, and that needs a lot of cleansing. All right. Okay. All right. So now let's go to Mani Mohan. Mani Mohan Prabhu, you're there, right? Okay. Let's open up. Hari
Haribol, Prabhu.
Bol Prabhu. Okay. So Prema Gauranga Mataji, you had any quick questions? I forgot to ask.
No, I think that's okay. And then you mentioned about meditation and yoga, right?
Yeah, you have to do a
Um,
pranayama session.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about a spiritual
Yeah, yeah. So, of course, your Jupiter is in the 12th house, which is good spiritually. So, that is why your pranayam and all other practices will actually, as you get better, you will be more grateful to the Lord. You'll be more spiritually strengthened, inclined. So, it's both connected. 12 p.m. India, Hyderabad, right?
Yeah,
Let's
Prabhu.
look at
It's noon.
Hyderabad.
Noon time.
Noon time,
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Okay, so here is Mani Mohan Prabhu's horoscope. All right, let's see. So now, where is the first house? Is here. Lagna, Lord is Jupiter, and Jupiter is sitting in the 10th house. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, sixth house is the health house. So the Lord is Venus, and Venus is sitting in the 12th house. Okay, now here is where it starts. So I have known Mateji for a long time, but I don't think I read the horoscope before. But we can see in this case, the sixth Lord in the 12th house is very good. Okay. Those who are born in noon, they are generally, as far as I have seen, like little plumpy, and you are right. So kapha dominating. Okay. Now, in your case, the Lagna Lord, that is Jupiter, is sitting in the 10th house. So 10th house is house of occupation, house of job, house of occupation. So you are very resourceful in your occupation, your job, everything. Yet you have two things here. So Saturn is sitting with Mercury and Jupiter, right? Now Saturn is hard work. Do you work hard or lazy? Hard work.
Hardworking, bro.
Lot of, huh?
Very much,
Hard,
yeah.
very much hard work, right? So Saturn is very much hard work. Now Mercury is, the work will be very intense intellectually also. So Mercury gets to your nerves. So you will have a tendency to, whatever your constitution is, you will overbloat because of the over hard working. Now this is in your, even if you were not in the industry you are in, wherever you are, you will be doing the same thing, your amount of hard work. Okay. So the Saturn is making digestion slower. So there is a lot of weight gain, like as it happened to you. And your sixth lord Venus is in the 12th house. So 12th house means, in one sense, it is a possibility. Means if you take it up. Okay. So Venus is a good planet spiritually. Okay. At the same time, it needs lot of approach, because you are so busy, you're in your hard work, you are not able to focus on the finer aspects of health. Okay. So your problem is the time. So in Ayurveda, it is also there. You need time, resources, knowledge. Right? You need time, knowledge, resources. Because most people don't have time. So even if you want to take out time, in your case, it's so tight. But if you take up, you will benefit immensely. That's what it says. It will benefit you spiritually also. Okay. Now, for example, in your case, in your diet, okay, you need, like for Jupiter, you need lighter foods. Okay. When Jupiter is very prominent in the horoscope, you could end up with sugar-related problems, overweight, sugar-related problems. Okay. So Jupiter makes you over. So you have to fight it with fasting. You have to fight it with the balancing. Like every meal, you say, I stop at this point. So that control. Okay. Because Jupiter makes you uncontrolled. Right. So in terms of eating. Am I correct?
Yeah, bro. Like, I work for 8 hours and sleep for 16 hours. That's how intense my work is. And then always
So,
you're absolutely right, bro. Like I try to go to like gym or anything, right? I never able to find the time. Something comes up and then stops me. It's just
yeah.
it's a huge struggle.
So for you, because of the Venus, yoga will benefit a lot. Yoga will benefit a lot. It will give you, because Jupiter is the Brahmana planet. Jupiter is the spiritual planet. Yoga will give you results intensely, immediately. Okay. So Jupiter and Venus is a very good combination of healing through yoga and diet. Gym won't help you much. And I have discovered, as I reverse my diabetes now, gym will not help, much. What will help is actually the yoga, because long-term sustainability, because yoga has the ability to balance prana, to absorb stress. So yoga and you need definitely a balance in the diet. So those both will help you. And like you said, that long hours of sleep, that also makes you slow moving, right? That you should correct immediately. You need movement. So Venus helps you build up that movement. Okay. Yeah, wonderful. Now let's look at your Navamsha quickly. So you have Sun in the horoscope, first house. Immediately you have to practice Surya Namaskara. Okay. So Sun salutations will benefit you a lot. Dasha wise, you are undergoing. Oh, you just started Rahu Dasha. So Rahu is sitting in your 8th house. 8th house is longevity. Okay, 8th house is longevity. So if you want to look at your longevity, you look at 8th house. So now, Rahu in the 8th house, very interesting. So you have to keep checking your health immediately. Okay, because Rahu gives you stomach related problems. Okay, in the long run. But Rahu is sitting in your 8th house. So 8th house is like more research. So your work hours, the stress will not reduce now, will be around the same. It's not that life is getting easy. Your work hours, all that stress will increase. But the Rahu, in the 8th house, because it's in the 8th house, it can pose stomach related health issues. So Rahu just started and you have 17 years of Rahu. So that means start yoga immediately. And you need to have plenty of balanced diet, plenty of herbal ghee, herbs, and it can really reverse. It can really help you. Maybe we can talk later also in detail.
Okay.
But I can see that Rahu time has just started, so you have to really. It's time to really work on it. You can't delay it anymore. So 8th house is Ayushyam. It is directly affecting the Ayushyam. It is time to improve the Ayushyam. Okay. So whatever you have to do it right now, like that. Okay. All right. So action plan time. Okay. All right. So let's see. So we did that, and we'll go to Victoria. Okay. Okay, we still have 13 people still left in the program. Okay, that's good as we are going really long. Uh, okay, let's see. All right. Victoria, Janabai, Victoria. How do you pronounce your last name? The last part of the name?
Ahrensdorf. I married into that name.
Okay, Ahrensdorf. Okay, interesting. Because I thought I had the pronunciation right, but I just want to make sure. Okay, Ahrens, Victoria. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Okay. USA, Iowa. All right. So I know part of your history and what you're having, but let's match it with the horoscope. Okay. Okay, here's the first thing that you can see immediately. As far as we've seen all the previous horoscopes, your moon is sitting with Saturn. So your mind is sitting with Saturn. So airy. So, so the thing is that this is good for spirituality. Your mind is very sharp. There is Saturn. So Saturn is exalted in your horoscope. So Saturn is exalted means very honest person. So somebody is very honest, very chaste, very serious about spirituality. Of course, it's all there. Now, the negative thing about this is this causes a digestive issue. It causes a bloated stomach. Right? Not always, but right now, when the Saturn influence in the second half of life. Okay. So you have in your case, that is sitting right in your 6th house of health. So Saturn is sitting in your 6th house of health. So your health issues are long term. So the positive thing about Saturn in quality is that he is leading you to spirituality. Okay. And however, Saturn is also bones and gas, digestive related issues, bloating. And as we discussed earlier, well, as we know of you, you had a severe bone issue when you fell down at the young age. And you can see it very clearly that Saturn is sitting in the house of health. Okay. And how old were you when that accident happened?
I was 12. And then when I had COVID 3 years ago, my joints are slippery, like unstable.
Yeah. So 54, 66. So Rahu Ketu, you can see a very difficult time in your life around that time. So Rahu Ketu time. So that's when this tragedy occurred. So now, as you undergo, so Saturn period is when these things would have accelerated your health issues. Okay. Late 90s. But now you are undergoing the Mercury period. Now, where is Mercury? Mercury is in your third house of eat and drink. Okay. So third house is food and drink. Okay. So if you don't eat exactly what you need to eat, balance, okay, your food and drink can cause the problem. Okay. So that's where you had this issue. And as we are working together, you can see your health is improving, right? It's your digestion is improving and everything. So because of the right diet. So in the Mercury period, it's you're sensitive, your nerves, your whole system becomes very, very sensitive. So your Mercury
Yes.
becomes very sensitive. So you need to have a very, very precise diet. That way.
Good. Good.
Okay. Yeah. So we are working on that. But next is Ketu. So Ketu is in your second house. You have Jupiter. It's good for your spiritual life. At the same time, you have to, whatever level of balance you want to reach, this is the time. Okay. Because Ketu, you have to be very precise, even more precise. Okay. So this is a very good time to develop your health to where you want it to be. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah. All right. So let's quickly pick up. I wasn't sure how many I'll be able to do, but okay, we have covered quite a lot. So we have how many more? Hemanti, Rajesh Kumar, one, then Devkinandan Prabhu and Hema. Okay. All right. We have just three left. So we'll cover these three, and then we will end up. Okay, let me just generate the horoscope for Hemanti Rajesh Kumar. Okay. Okay, Hemanti. Okay, and where is this? Oh, it is Rajesh. Okay. Is it yours or Rajesh? Hemanti ji?
It's not mine. It's Prabhuji's.
Prabhuji. Okay, thanks. Okay, so it's male. Okay. 18th April 2071. Okay, and the time is 10:30 a.m. Vijayawada. And
It's 10:30 p.m.
Okay. India. This is Andhra Pradesh, right? Andhra
Telangana. I don't know.
Pradesh.
Yeah, Andhra.
This horoscope was this design. Okay, anyways, we got it. All right, so let's quickly look at this. All right, so you see, Mars is in the first house. Now, Mars is a great friend. Okay, so that's not bad. Okay. So personality. Now, Rahu is sitting with the moon. Okay. Now, that makes somebody not have a proper balanced routine. So, very difficult to be consistent. Very difficult to be consistent. So, is that correct in his habits?
Yes, Prabhuji, very much.
Very imbalanced. And because of the influence of Rahu, he starts something but then doesn't finish it. Any good habits? So, so this is somebody very shallow in practice. Okay, it's very difficult. So once they practice, it takes a long time. Any practice does take a long time, but when Rahu is there, there is a lot of mistrust. And such people have their habits keep changing. Okay. It's not very stable. So there is a lot of need to stabilize the mind. So here in Ayurveda, the root cause of all disease is the mind, but the mind is severely affected here anyway. It is severely affected. So this is something to note and needs to be worked upon. Okay. Now the sixth lord of health, the lord is Venus again, and he is sitting in exaltation. Now, which is good? Sixth lord in the fourth in exaltation is good, but here it's a case of mixed karma. It looks like overall a good horoscope because Venus in exaltation is a good thing. It is very powerful. But mental instability can cause the health issues here, right? Or imbalance in habits, correct? So, does he have? So you mentioned that he has, but are his habits like on and off? He's not consistent, correct?
Yes, and there's an element of mistrust also. No faith in what he's
Yeah.
doing. But spiritual, there's always an element of doubt.
Yes. So Rahu Moon always creates that doubt. So this is a very like this needs a really powerful solution. So because their faith is very shallow. So it needs Moon as well as Rahu. Okay. Where are you located right now, Mataji?
I'm in Toronto, Prabhuji.
Toronto. Okay, okay. So basically, for this, you really need like to overcome the Rahu karma. So you have to do like Varaha Kavacham. For the moon, you need to like do like a 1 month moon prayer, like a moon Chandrayana fasting. I do that program. So in that, if you do like eat once a day and really focus on mantra chanting, then you can overcome this karma. But it's not easy. It's not easy. It can get worse with time. That's the thing. So it does take a lot of effort. But you don't see any visible change, right, over time. by itself.
As an improvement?
Yeah.
Maybe slight with chanting. There is slight
Mhm.
improvement in mental, the irritability.
Practice.
Yeah. So there is slight positive way, but not to the extent that I would want.
Okay. So now this Saturn Dasha is coming up. Now Saturn and Sun is both are in the same house clashing, and Saturn is very debilitated. So this period is going to be very difficult. Okay. So this period is going to be very difficult with the Saturn, and the health is going to deteriorate. So this started like just a month ago. So it's very important that he really takes up overall yoga and meditation practice, and this will in the long run this will help him. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, Mataji. So that's my conclusion here. So any questions, comments?
Yeah, so the Saturn period, like it's not Sadesati. So it's like
Sadesati is also ending right now, but the
Hmm.
Saturn period is starting. You see here, the Saturn Dasha.
Okay. How long does it remain, Prabhu? 3 months?
18, 18 years. So it's a
Oh,
long period.
okay.
It's a Dasha. It's 18 years. It's going to be severe digestive issues, everything might come. So it's a good time to really work on the health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. How many am I left with right now? Okay. Devkinandan Prabhu. Okay. What about the degree of planets? Yeah. So degree of planets. Yeah. I mean, of course, all that infancy, youth, to the degree it affects you, it does affect in there. Devkinandan Prabhu. All right. Devkinandan Prabhu. All right, so this is Trenton, Michigan, October 28, 1965. Okay. And time 4:20 a.m. 4:20 a.m. 4:20 Michigan. Michigan, Trenton. Okay, let's see. Okay, now it's a good horoscope. So now in this, your Lagna, your first house, personality, the Lord is Mercury, and he is situated in the second house, which is good. So you have a good communicable personality over here. Very good. Like you're very, very clear with your communication, very strong. The sun is over there, Surya, but Surya is debilitated. So sun is debilitated. So digestive issues. So you need, because sun is debilitated in the horoscope, so you have to be you are actually physically active, but you can be overactive, so you need a balance with yoga. So your problem is to come back to balance. So so sun is weak. So sun is weak mm, is not good in terms of, so it needs to be balanced with sun salutation. So no matter what you do in your daily routine, you should not miss sun salutations. You cannot miss sun salutations practice. Even actually Gayatri chanting will help you because the sun is weak. Okay, Gayatri mantra and the Mahamantra will help, but Gayatri will help you tremendously. And your Saturn is in the 6th house of health. So your digestion is always slow. Okay, digestion is always slow. Slow means in the sense that slow, always a tendency to overeat. So always a tendency to overeat and put on weight, bulk, gas and other related problems. So Saturn is like sitting there and he'll be there. So that means it's a continuous struggle, Sun and Saturn. Okay. And as we discussed last time, in your relationship issues with the, it also shows up with the parents a little bit. So those issues also affect the mental and your digestive health. Okay. It's not just the health. Now, health is also a reflection of the relationship as well. So that is something you need to work on. But mostly if you are able to maintain the yoga practice, your diet will fall in place. Okay, you can see once you overeat, you can't practice. You will struggle, right? So you can't do that. That is why it says atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagra janasangascha laulyam cha shadvir yoga vinashyati or bhakti vinashyati, right? So it's killing. So that should be your gauge. So are you able to practice? Okay. So if you are able to practice, then that means you are balancing. So that's your test. So your challenge is to be in the routine. So that will keep your sun in balance. So once your sun is in balance, your Saturn will come to balance. Okay. So your practice should be consistent. That's your, and now you're undergoing the Rahu Jupiter period. Okay. What happened? One moment. Charts, birth chart. Okay. Okay. So the Rahu Jupiter period and the Rahu Dasha. So Rahu is sitting in your 9th house. So this is a spiritual evolution time, which is good. Spiritually, it's good. Throughout, you will evolve into a strong spiritual person, but how good you will be depends on your consistency in yoga practice. Your kind of yoga is your karma. You have to do it to maintain. So it'll be highly beneficial. So your sun is, see here, it's weak, debilitated. Your Mercury is very high, communication. So for Saturn, you need to eat foods that will help you digest better, like ginger for sun, for Saturn and sun both. So ginger and your prayers to the sun, Aditya Hridayam will benefit you a lot. Okay. So I will send that link to you. Okay. All right. Any questions on that?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay, good. So consistency. Now this is the time. New Year resolution. Okay. All right. So let's go to the last one for today. Hema. Manimohan Prabhu, you are there? We'll do Hema Mataji's horoscope.
Yes,
and then
Prabhu.
we'll close the session for today. Okay. Okay, let me just X out and open up our horoscope first. New. So this will be the last horoscope. Then we'll just have a New Year tips and we'll end. Okay, so it's April 3rd, 1990.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mm,
And she's born in a village, Prabhuji.
No, Vijayawada.
Oh, actually, Vijayawada, Prabhuji. Sorry, I put a wrong.
Vijayawada.
wrong. Vijayawada. Yeah.
Vijayawada, 10 a.m.
Yes, Prabhuji.
10
Huh?
p.m. 10 p.m.
For 10 p.m. Oh, sorry, 10 p.m. Prabhuji.
10 p.m.
Yeah, PM.
So it's 2200. Okay.
Bro?
India. Okay. Vijayawada, right?
Yeah, Vijayawada.
Okay. All right. So here we go. The last horoscope of the day. So we can see here Lagna. Lagna Lord is Mars. Mars is sitting in the third house with Rahu. So definitely digestion related issues. You can see that Saturn, Rahu, and Mars are together. Okay. It's a
Yeah.
very deadly. So digestion related issues and also Mercury in the sixth house. So Mercury in the sixth house, the Lord being Mars sitting in the third house. So Mercury causes nerve related issues like tension, stress, all these things. Mercury can cause a lot. Can
Yeah, bro.
cause severe nerve related. Mercury is your nervous system. So there is a digestive and there's a digestive and both nerve imbalance here. Okay. So actually, I would definitely recommend both of you to take up strong yoga practice. Maybe we can talk sometime later. And a routine, very good diet because because at the same time you are working so hard all the time. Now this is also stressing her out and is affecting in the sense that there is the total balance is kind of missing.
Yeah,
So the
bro.
nerve. So unless you work on this, it will keep perpetuating. Okay. So the Chandrayana we did, I think it was good, but now we need to kind of take off from there and balance. So yeah, let me talk to you later. But this is Rahu, Saturn, and Mars. So this creates severe digestive issues, like long-term digestive issues. So that needs it needs to be taken care. Otherwise, health will always be imbalanced. Okay. So that imbalance needs to be corrected. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think this will be
Prabhu, in the
very.
birth chart, everything, there is no enemies in there. Why is it, Prabhu?
Which one?
In the birth chart, there is no enemies in that list. All the
But they are
planets.
sitting in the third house. Third house is Dushtasthana.
Oh, okay.
So Lagna Lord sitting in the third house. So third house is not a good house. So Lagna Lord can be in the second house, fourth house, fifth house. So fifth house is eat and drink. Third house is also siblings. Okay. Now because it's in the eat and drinking, and first Lord should not be in it causes an imbalance in the third. If it was in the fourth, it is okay. But the effect is reduced because it's not an enemy house. The effect is minimized.
Right,
But
bro.
because it's third house itself, the Lord of the first house in the third. So third is Dushtasthana, not like a good house. Okay. For a first Lord planet to be in. So because of that, there is the imbalance. Now, the good part is because it's not enemy planet, if you actually streamline and work hard on it, you can overcome it very quickly. But you need to know what to do. So that's the Ayurvedic plan. So we can discuss later on. But if you actually do this with some prayers, like a mantra for Mars, Narsimha prayers, Narsimha Kavacham, at the same time for Mercury, you need some yoga and pranayam, like simple, like 20 minutes. If you practice every day, it can be balanced. Yeah. So that's the thing, is that you can see where the imbalance is. Hmm.
Sure, bro.
Yeah. Hmm. Any other questions? Oh, let's look at Navamsha quickly. So Navamsha, see again Mars is with the moon. Okay. So heat,
Yeah.
Agni, imbalance. So the Lord is Venus, second house, very good. Okay. Internally, very nice person. That you can't deny. Is a very
Yeah,
good
yeah,
person. And sixth Lord is in the third house. So here again, see, here Jupiter is with. So there is a very, both of you have a tendency to put on weight quickly. The Jupiter is always strong. Imbalance in diet is very, very obvious. Okay. Now that this answer also is in there. So is the Surya. Surya and so Surya is the Surya Namaskaram. Yoga will definitely help you. At the same time, you need a little bit of herbs, Ayurvedic herbs balance, and pranayam, especially, even if not so much asana. You need asana to do pranayam anyway, but you need to do the basic poses. But pranayama will definitely help. Okay, in bringing the balance. All right, so I hope I answered all of your questions. Thank you. Message from Sunny. Thank you for sharing. I'm praying for everyone's well-being, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Thank you so much, Coordinators, for your generosity, knowledge, and guidance. Thank you so much. And pardon me? Any question? I just missed me. So, what I would like to say is that this next 10 years are years of war. If you did not know, we are in a war already. Okay, the world is in a state of war. Okay, there's no second thoughts about it. Okay, the globalists, they are trying to make every country, like, there's so much going on. There is illegal migration, there is mass migration, then there is so many plans of so many globalists. They feel this is the time to execute. At the same time, on the planet, there is a spiritual revival, and we see that starting in India especially. So which will, the planet of Ram in Ram Janmabhoomi is coming up. So all these things are happening at the same time. So in one sense, there is some kind of destruction. At the second, there is some kind of construction. So now what will be affected is definitely our routine. Every day you watch the news, some new shock. So keep away from all this. The best way to fight chronic depression, health issues is routine. And when I almost finished with my book, and the healing, the healing mudras, and this book, and the next 2 days I'll be done. It's come out so good with all the pictures of the mudras you can see, and you can, and I found that everything lies within. So if you go into a routine of good diet, yoga, sleep, wake up, good diets, no matter what happens, after a certain time you stop work. No matter what happens, you have to eat at that right time. You cannot miss it, because the damage it may cause because you don't eat at the right time, this is all very difficult to recoup. You want to earn money, but not at the cost of your health, because there is no cost to health. Okay, you cannot put a cost to health, because health is you. Ayurveda, it says you cannot enjoy even if you do not have good health. So everyone strive for a good health, strive to maintain a good routine, maintain a good diet. Okay, and I have my book coming up, Ayur Yoga Synergies, how I reversed my diabetes, and that is also my final book for the PhD. So my PhD final semester starts in February, up till August, and I hope to finish by September, October of this year. And it'll be a very big breakthrough how in Ayurveda you can reverse any chronic disease by a routine and lifestyle. Okay. And of course, it has to have yoga, diet, and a routine. So if these three elements are there, these are basic for anyone. But how much does that routine has to vary? That is your body type. Which prayers you need to do, that's on your horoscope. So if we understand, so that is why we need a little bit of individual analysis. And that's what was my goal here, is to, in this presentation, to make everybody aware of their individual, how individual horoscope situation. So you're doing the same thing. You are eating, you are living your life, but everything. But what changes you need to make within that routine to achieve that perfection in diet, routine, exercise, diet, routine, exercise, sleep, diet, routine, exercise, sleep, diet, routine, exercise, sleep. You get that. And then proper prayers. So if all that falls in place, definitely anybody can live up to 80 to 100 years, no problem. Okay, you can live long. One can, it says in the Ishopanishad also, one can expect to live very long if and healthy and beneficial to himself and society if one follows his dharma, if one understands what is his physical, mental purpose and what he is here for and what he needs to do. And that's why there is the guidance. So I've recorded this, I've live streamed it to YouTube, and I will share the link as well. Please share it with your friends. And we have a lot of products coming up, and and a lot of courses, everything. We are designing books, and we need all of your help in launching these and spreading the word. And I'm really grateful all of you joined, and wish all of you a very, very happy and a special 2024. All right, take care. And just let me put in the gallery view. Can everyone come on camera or take a group picture just to celebrate? Prema Gaurangi Mataji, Guljan, if you can, Hemanti, Rajesh. Aftab, where are you joining from? You are muted.
I'm joining from San Fernando in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, Trinidad. Okay, okay. All right. Nice seeing you. All right. So here we go. Okay, I opened the wrong window. Command Shift 4. Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining and wishing everyone a happy 2024. Take care.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Okay, that's the picture. All right. Take care. Thanks.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
bro.
Prabhu.
Thank you and Happy New
Happy
Year
New
to you
Year,
as well.
Prabhu. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.